Everyone, I want to say thank you for attending the conference. Utility workers are having this regional conference really to talk about ways that we can improve and how we get better. I started in the nuclear industry, and it's been my whole career. As a nuclear operator, I've seen plants running, I've seen plants shut down. But the whole time I've been in a bargaining unit position, even though it allowed me a chance to do training, it allowed me a chance to do public speaking, it allowed me a chance to do a bunch of other things. And the utility workers have really been a big support for me. But what I wanted to do was talk to all of you, find out a little bit more about you, what you do, and why this conference. And Belinda, I really want to start with you because first, just tell us what you do on a day-to-day basis at work.
I'm a customer service rep for a utility company, and I've been there for 21 years.
21 years.
I'm a bilingual, and I do a backup for their internet department.
So how, you say you're a bilingual customer service rep. What is interesting to me is if I call, how do you know, or how do I get to you for bilingual services?
There is a telephone number that automatically you can dial to get to a Spanish rep, or even if you come in through the English line, the automated system will route you over to a Spanish rep if you choose to.
That's pretty fascinating to me. I tell you what, Michael, tell us kind of what you do.
Well, I work for dispatch with the utility company, same utility company, SoCalGas, and my job is supporting the workforce out in the field, ETRs like Mercurio, and
What's an ETR?
Energy Technician Residential.
Okay, we're gonna hold up because we're gonna move over because first of all, the fact that you could say Mercurio tells me that you have spent some time working on these things. But Mercurio, what do you do?
As Michael stated, I'm an energy technician, residential. I've been with the company about 22 years.
22 years. What company?
The gas company, Southern California Gas Company.
Southern California Gas.
Yeah, so basically as an ETR, I'm a serviceman. I'm basically a multi-purpose guy. I can handle issues on the customer service side as well as distribution on some fashions. I service the customer, I do turn-ons, I fix appliances, I do carbon monoxide testing, I deal with fire investigations.
So what I've heard from all of you is totally different from what I do. I work at a plant, which means I don't get to deal with the customers, but it seems like each one of you are you're responsible for making sure that, people are safe. You're telling people where to go, what to do. I have a problem, I call and talk to you. So I think we have a pretty broad spectrum of things that we do because we pretty much have conferences in some shape, form, or fashion on an annual basis. What do you want to see in the next one?
More time for workshops. There was a really great workshop, but I feel like I wanted to be a part of the other workshop as well. I wanted more information. I would like to sit in the collective bargaining one.
Okay, so collective bargaining. Did either of you get a chance to attend the collective bargaining or were you in the steward one? Okay, so I actually got a chance to see it and or attend it. And I've actually, I don't know if it's really a good thing, but due to the status of our plant, we actually had a shutdown. The company was doing layoffs, so we bargained the layoff contract, layoff agreement. We bargained once the plant shut down, a shutdown agreement. And in between those two, we had a collective bargaining agreement to negotiate. And after that one, we had a benefits agreement to negotiate. So I really had an opportunity to do a lot of bargaining. And I will tell you, for me, the takeaway was, even though we've had a lot of experience doing it, man, it was really cool to just step back and think about the other pieces that you may have missed. So what do you think you'd like to see in upcoming conferences?
I would like to see more of our core people, shop stewards. We had a lot of shop stewards and stuff here today. And like I said, I'm thankful for that, but I think just broadening it a little bit more would actually involve more people It will create more interaction, and we would get the message out a little bit more. I did like the workshops. Like he said before, I would like to have more of a one-on-one kind of see if I can sit and, like I said, that of course we have time restraints, but at the same time, just maybe getting a little more information on some other issues. You know, maybe some other things maybe we can reiterate or bring into the conference that we haven't brought in.
Belinda, what do you want? If you had an opportunity to sit down with President Langford and the executive board, and they said, Belinda, what do you want in your next conference? What would you tell them?
Well, the workshops, I think being able to attend more workshops would be ideal. But what I would want to see is to hear from us as members, like us as officers, as shop stewards, like what stuff that we've gone through so we can hear it, because sometimes the only way you're going to hear it is if you're like sitting at a table and you're conversating or you're meeting somebody for the first time and you bring up issues. But when you have the speakers up there and they're talking about their stuff or whatever they've been through, I would want to hear that also from our members, like what they're going through.
Okay, so we're going to put you in charge of a workshop. How can we make that work? Because I think I hear you saying, although the speakers have things that they can talk about, you really believe our members have specific issues that we really ought to hear about. So if we're doing, what would we title that workshop?
I'm not sure what I would title that.
Well, okay, so we don't have a title for it, but what type of issues or categories could we put them in? Because I think you're on to something, because we spend a lot of time in this conference. I know in the bargaining, we went over specifics about a lot of stuff. So I would imagine in yours, the leadership pieces, you talked about active listening. So I know you guys were getting a lot of information. But how do we get to what you're talking about? How do we get the input from the members so that everyone can hear about their concerns?
Well, I think that just like they would have like speakers, if you're going to have a workshop that's going to deal with the issues that are familiar to all of us, especially when utility or maybe other unions, other locals that work here, you can probably let one of us, and be in that room and let us stand up and speak to the rest of our fellow members that are there and let them know what we're experiencing, and they can give us feedback about our issues, and then we can hear if Michael's having some problem or an issue at his workplace, we can hear him and give him advice and give him tips.
So we should we should have some time to really talk about specific issues, concerns, open forum. So I think, believe it or not, the last day of the conference, we have one more day. And one of the things, Michael, you may not have seen, but one of the things we're going to do is we're actually going to do that. We're going to talk about, we call them local reports. And it gives us a chance to do that. But I think your point is, in the workshop setting, we need to hear what the real problems are. Because I'm really trying to figure out how do we get that information ahead of time, because I really want to get it early enough to where we can talk about it, because we could talk about issues, but but you may have already dealt with it. You may have the answer. So we got to figure out a way to do that communication, and I'm counting on you to help me. And when I say you, Michael, I'm talking about your generation. We have a lot of experience, knowledge, and expertise. But you know, one of our challenges is, how do we communicate it? How do we talk about it? How do we let other people know in a timely fashion? How can we do that? Do you have some suggestions on how we can get better in the communication area?
I don't want to take it from them, but a lot of the times we do have message trees that we like to use.
What's a message tree?
Basically, we've kind of designated like certain groups or where we put them on a text list.
Okay.
And we create a forum where we can speak about certain issues if it's a topic, and we feel that we have people in that forum that can address those issues. We text back and forth to try to get the information that we need. I think that's a good form of communication.
So you guys you've actually set up a communication system where you're able to pass on information to people who are following up on union work behind you. You also have national support from people like Jamie Simon, and I know Jerry Acosta and Carl Wood are also helping you guys. Can you give me some other things? We have one piece that we want to share.
Simple answer is just online. When I went around to different districts when I was running for regional officer, a lot of people were saying that they don't know what's going on with the union, they don't know how to get in touch with the union, and I think that if we did that online, people would be able to get that information as quickly as possible.
When you say online, give me more information.
Facebook through the UWUA app. That's
Okay.
a really good one. I didn't even know we had that until this conference.
So now that you know, though, how can you help folks like me that I really want to do it, but I'm scared. I don't trust my employer. How can you help? Because I'm sure you're going to run into a bunch of me's in the workplace. What message would you take from the conference to give to those folks about online and how to better communicate? What would you tell them?
You have the right to organize. You're part of a union, and part of being a union is being able to get that information by any means that you want to.
So you're going to let them know it's your right. That you make it sound so simple. We have some wonderful people that have come on to help us with our social media and how we communicate. And I was like, I can block anybody. So that made it was like a revelation for me. I saw light. It's like, oh.
Yeah,
so
you can definitely do that.
So now, from the conference, being a Utility Workers Union of America member, what can you take back to share with the folks in your work area about being a UWUA member?
I'm proud of my union. From the start, I've been a union member for maybe over 21 years. It's allowed me to get a job, to have a job that I can feel proud of. I'm able to support my family. I'm able to, pursue a career. Something that I never did. When I first started with this company, I was 19, 20 years old. I didn't have any direction, in a sense. But, as I continue to build and continue to work through the ranks, meter reading, distribution, collections, customer service, you name it, on the field side, I started to see things open up for me. And like I said, it's allowed me to take care of my family, my children, put them through college. All of these benefits that I've gotten, I couldn't thank UWA, my union, enough for everything that they've done for me. And like I said, I'm on the way to retirement. I got maybe 15 years. Like I said, hopefully I'll be able to get there and enjoy my retirement. And I can't thank UWA and the union.
Belinda, what can you share with the group that you represent and the stewards about being a utility worker member?
Well, I will let them know that I am very proud of being a UWUA member and how proud I am to belong to a union, and not only to my fellow coworkers, but also to my children. My daughters have now entered the workplace, and I'm very big about unions and looking for a job that has union, because then they're going to fight for your rights. And I try to tell them, I'm proud, and I was able to provide for you because I belong to a union, and a union that fought for my rights. Not maybe I wasn't there, maybe whatever battle was fought at the very beginning, but I know that I've encountered certain things and I've had to fight for certain things as well. And now, I'm at the other part of it, and I tell them, being a union member means like unity, means solidarity, means that you have other people that are going to back you, you have support, and you have people that are going to give you information that is going to help you in your workplace.
Tell me how you can relate to the members from the perspective of a UWUA member.
Well, I started when I was 18, so I've been a UWUA member for 10 years, well, almost 11 actually. And what I took away from the conference was I'm not entitled, I'm working class. And the union worked hard to get me my job, have me keep my job, and that's just incredible for me. I mean, I've been part of the union since I was 18, and I'm lucky to have a job. I'm not entitled. I'm lucky to have a job because of the union.
Let's talk about then the challenges in the workplace. Those members that they don't get it. They don't believe, they don't understand, they don't know. After this conference, what can you share with them? Not to change their mind, but what information and facts can you use to have real, true discussions with them about being a union member?
I always tell my coworkers that when they tell me, the union this or the union that, or they don't have information, I tell them that this union is only as strong as its members. And that it's really important that if I'm not getting the information, look for the information or approach me again, contact me again. I always let them know I am here, call me, you have my number, give me a call. But we can only make this stronger if you involve yourself to make it stronger.
When you join and when you become a regional officer, it's a passion. You have to have some sort of a passion to it, and you have to want to be involved. Take yourself out of just being a regional officer, just sitting there and being on the e-board every month or what have you. I'm out there. I'm trying to do the work as best as I can, along with all the other things that I have, family, other obligations. But at the same time, I feel that I'm trying to do my best, and my heart is in it. It's all about just bringing those people in, and they have to understand, what it is. We're not just sitting around sipping lattes. So, but it's just all about understanding, and that communication is so key. Understanding what we do and what we represent, and after that, they'll understand. I think